What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with a preview for a bunch of content updates, reward changes, and fixes we're getting in Destiny 2 this week. So first up, the Dawning is arriving. We get new weapons, armor, cosmetics, and more. In particular, the weapons are worth taking a bit of a look at, so we'll talk about that. But importantly, up first, there will be a game update to the game this week. And we've got patch changes that adjust activity content, rewards, including crystal drop rates, additional dungeon updates, exotic mission changes, and more. So we'll round up all of that and some other heads up from Bungie ahead of the weekly reset. So if you guys enjoy the video, a rating very much helps us out on the channel. Let us know if the Dawning excites you in the comment section as well. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. I'd be curious to know. But now, let's get into it. The first thing we should talk about is the update that we're having this week. So this is update 9503, and I believe outside of other emergency updates that we might see, this is probably going to be the last one for the year. Bungie have also said that on Thursday we'll get the last TWID of the year, as they'll naturally have a bit of downtime over the holiday period. But regarding the update, there will be some downtime which will last for around an hour and a half, just ahead of weekly reset. Then at 9 AM Pacific, update 9503 will become available, and hopefully we won't have any server issues or anything and we'll be straight back into the game. We'll get into the update's specific changes in just a moment, but firstly, the D2 team have said we're investigating an issue in the Equilibrium dungeon where not all feats are properly increasing reward quality or counting for triumphs, and more information will be provided when available. There's been a lot of feedback about the feats in general. I don't have a massive issue with them. The bigger problem is the general loot system, and that it's weird to get tier 5 drops by playing a Vanguard Strike playlist essentially, and then to only get tier 3 drops or tier 2 drops or whatever when you run the dungeon. Some of that though may indeed be linked to the fact that this bug is a thing, so just keep that in mind. Kind of unfortunate, and hopefully it'll be fixed soon. Otherwise, in relation to the dungeon, Bungie also said Equilibrium Dungeon Contest Mode ended at 9 AM Pacific, and that was on the 15th of December, and activity completions as of now will not grant contest mode rewards. I believe there was an issue where players were essentially still able to complete the contest mode after it should have ended. And so Bungie say they are investigating revoking emblems earned after the scheduled end of the contest mode period. So just keep in mind in case you did finish contests after that time. But back to the update today. In terms of what is actually changing, Bungie have said firstly, after resolving a scoring issue with update 9501, Derealize Master Conquest has been re-enabled, but the one affecting the Conductor's Keep will be fixed in the update today. So for any folks who want to get that conquest completed, it should be possible after the weekly reset. Additionally, Bungie have said the Dark Matter Crystal Scion for the Praxic Blade drops far lower than intended. It is meant to be rare, but not as rare as it currently is. So they'll be deploying a fix that significantly increases the Scion Crystal's drop rate from exotic contracts in update 9503. So hopefully that'll get a bit easier to actually acquire. My biggest issue with this situation is that the exotic contracts themselves are incredibly rare. I maxed out all of the factions and basically completed Renegades entirely and have only ever seen one exotic contract. So I'm not sure really how all of that works, but if you're getting plenty of exotic contracts, hopefully this buff will help. Otherwise, there'll be changes to the Fire and Ice exotic mission, reducing the time required to interact with the pyramid activators in the boss arena to 1 second. They're also changing platforms in the boss arena to be solid on legendary difficulty and adjusting their positioning to offer more protection. And they fixed an issue where players were blocked from earning the upper hand or hyperblade catalyst for the Praxic Blade after acquiring one of the two. And so hopefully all of the things inside of Fire and Ice will additionally be fixed with the update today. On to more content-focused things. Of course, the new dungeon, Equilibrium, dropped over the weekend. If you didn't complete that on contest, you may still be running it to get the Heirloom exotic. And so of course, with the refresh, we will get another chance at that on all 3 characters. Otherwise, legendary loot in this dungeon is totally farmable, and as I mentioned the other day, it's pretty easy to solo the first encounter. And in fact, a lot of the dungeon is quite easy to solo, but especially the first encounter. And so if you're someone who doesn't typically run a lot of dungeon content, or you prefer to play alone, you can technically farm the first encounter's loot pool for legendary drops. So keep that in mind, and I'll link a video with a few tips for that down below. Otherwise, Bungie did confirm the Praxic Blade Crystal Taken variant creates a brilliant beam of dark light, and it has a low chance to drop on fully clearing all encounters in Equilibrium. The encounters don't need to be cleared in a specific order, and progress resets weekly and on each full clear, so it is technically farmable. Just keep in mind, you have to run the entire dungeon for a chance for it to drop. Otherwise, if you've earned any packages from the Tharsis factions, those will become available to pick up at weekly reset once again, so be sure to check in opposite the spider in the outpost to see if you've gotten any of those to claim. And then we look to the new content for this week in the form of the Dawning. We get the new wolf-themed armor available via Eververse. Additionally, we will once again be baking cookies to deliver to vendors for chances at getting loot drops and things. Plus, we have a new game mode called Snowball Fight, which is literally a 6-player PvP mode where you can just throw snowballs at other players. So that's something to look into if you like the sound of it. Otherwise, we get the new weapons for the year, which include the Permafrost, which is a stasis waveframe grenade launcher. The first trait slot can roll attrition orbs, overflow, blast distributor, as well as rhyme stealer, demolitionist, impromptu ammunition, and lead from gold. Then the second slot can get desperate measures, crystalline corpse bloom, one for all, reaper's tithe, pugilist, wellspring, and adrenaline junkie. All the Dawning weapons will get the Dawning surprise origin trait as well, where defeating targets awards a Dawning gift, and defeated powerful targets count as more than one, and Permafrost in particular will also get the field-tested origin trait. Then there is the Thimble Winter Stitch, which is the new arc precision frame sidearm. First trade slot can roll rapid hit, as well as trickle charge, which is a new perk, and receiving or discharging bolt charge partially loads the magazine from reserves. It can also get rangefinder, loose change, collective pugilism, and lone wolf, as well as another new perk called supercharged magazine, and while amplified, ammo is gradually transferred from reserves to the magazine. Then while in speed booster, ammo regenerates faster and overflows it. Second slot for this one can get Kill Clip, Jolting Feedback, Rolling Storm, as well as Collective Action, Precision Instrument, Redirection, and Volt Shot, so plenty of arc perks to interact with each other on this one. And I should mention as well that these have the chance to drop as a Frosty Holofoil, which is pretty cool. The last new weapon though, or updated from previous years, is Mistral Lift, a Void Adaptive Burst linear fusion rifle. First trait slot can get Built to Blast, Envious Arsenal, Firefly, Reconstruction, No Distractions, Withering Gaze, or Overflow. Then the second slot is able to roll Butterfly, where aiming the weapon for a short period without firing causes your target to explode the next time you deal final blows, and the timer resets when you stop aiming down sights. Plus it has Bait and Switch, Dragonfly, Precision Instrument, Destabilizing Rounds, Rewind Rounds, and Reservoir Burst. Plus, this one gets the Viced Stinger origin trait on top of the Dawning trait. So in addition to the continued grind for Renegades things, the dungeon, which is refreshing, the patch changes, which should give us better chances at some of the rewards in the game, and of course, the Dawning, yes, it should be a reasonably busy week. I will keep you posted later on in the week as well with the TWID, any things that Bungie say before the end of the year. So as always, keep it locked and loaded here, and I will keep you up to date. Otherwise though, for the moment, I appreciate you tuning in. Once again, let us know in the comments if you plan to dive into the game this week for anything. If you found the video helpful, a rating really does help us out. Plus, you can hit subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to stay up to date. But otherwise, I appreciate you watching today, and I will catch you all very soon.